Stop what you are doing. Do not send him that long ass paragraph. Before you send him one more single thing you are going to listen to or watch this episode, you are going to save it to return to over and over again, because you are going to come back into your power. You are absolutely not in your power when you are sending him those long ass essays, and I'm going to tell you why and how to change this. Welcome to season 2, episode 3 of Ali Gamolka Unfiltered. Now, no judgment. I have been that woman who sent those long ass essays, let me tell you, my God. And I never thought I could be that woman, because I wasn't always that woman. And certain things triggered that, and my own abandonment of me. Certain things, it wasn't even having a bad man or anything, toxic man, that triggered that. It was just certain events and situations that led to me abandoning me. And I became that woman. And I'm sitting here having a little giggle to myself, because I sit there and the text that I was sending, I'm so glad that it's all deleted. I'm so glad, because I couldn't even, yeah, pretty full on. But it's what you do when you are trying to grasp, when you are feeling like you are losing the thing that you have put on a pedestal, this relationship, this love, him. When you feel like you are losing that, when they are pulling away or the relationship's ending, you are doing anything and everything to bring it back, because you are not in your power, because your nervous system has been triggered. This is not about communication. You are not communicating with him with those long ass essays, even though you and me would have said we were communicating, and he needs to know and he needs to understand how I feel. He doesn't give a shit. He's probably not even reading them. He is probably rolling his eyes going, holy fuck, here we go again. So you are not communicating. You are responding from triggers. Your nervous system has been activated. Okay? This fear in you has been activated that you are losing him, and that is triggering all sorts of stuff within you. Perhaps an old abandonment wound, perhaps old trauma of men hurting you in the past, perhaps self-worth. It is all being triggered. Your nervous system has switched into survival mode. That means your nervous system is in flight, fight, freeze, or fawn, meaning it senses danger. It senses danger like there's a lion chasing you, and it is going to do everything to protect you. And in this case, you are doing everything to try and protect you from the possible pain of him leaving or pulling back. You are reaching and chasing. You are sending these messages, not from a state of regulation, not from healthy communication, but because you are doing everything and anything to try and soothe yourself, because you don't know better. And that's okay. This is what I'm here for. It is not your fault that you don't know better. It is your responsibility to change it. This is what I always say. Now, here's the thing. When you are sending those long ass essays, you are trying to get him to soothe you, because he will respond one of 3 ways. He will either respond and say, you're right, you're absolutely right. I love you so much. I'm sorry I ever pulled away. And you will be soothed. This is the ideal scenario that your nervous system is seeking. You are seeking his soothing, his comfort, to tell you that everything's okay. The lion is not chasing you anymore. You are safe. Or he will respond, in a back and forth and say, no, you're not right. This is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And this will trigger more survival state, more survival mode. Either way, you will get, in those little bursts of him responding to you, you'll get some sort of, soothing in those moments that you entice this response, or he will ignore you altogether. And you will continue to then seek out. But you are seeking out his validation to soothe you, because you are not regulating yourself. You are putting that on someone else, and that is stepping you out of your power. Remember, a woman in her power is not a woman trying to control someone else or manipulate someone else or trying to get him to do what she wants. A woman in her power is a woman who can stay connected to her through her triggers, because you're going to be triggered throughout your life, baby. You are going to be triggered. This is not about being perfect and never triggered. It's about knowing what to do when you are triggered and taking ownership of that. It is a woman who can regulate herself and doesn't rely on someone else's validation, someone else's regulation. She can give this to herself and then respond. So once you have regulated, you can then respond if and when you choose from that state of calmness, alignment with healthy communication. Or it may be that once you've regulated, you may see that no response here is actually what is needed, because it's gone far beyond that, or they've decided to leave. That's their choice. They are welcome to that choice. You are not here to convince and chase, or whatever it is. Or they are not upholding your boundaries, let's say, and you then decide that the correct action is to honor your boundaries. Remember, boundaries are just words until you follow them up with action. It's about following your words, your standards with action. I am not being met here in whichever way, and I am going to pull myself out of this situation. But you cannot do this when your system, your nervous system is unregulated and you think you are being chased by a lion and the whole world is coming to the end. You think your whole world is coming to an end because you have placed your entire calming system, validation system in someone else's hands. So it feels like a fucking threat when that is being taken away from you. It's scary. It's scary to your nervous system. When you have put that in someone else's hands and they are moving away, when you have told yourself that you are only worthy if someone chooses you and they are taking that away, of course that feels like a threat. It's scary as fuck, right? But until you learn to actually regulate yourself and take ownership of that first, you cannot be in your power. You are not in your power in relationship. Again, power is not about controlling someone else. It's about your ability to stay connected to you. When you go to send him that text and you are able to catch yourself and notice that you are doing this, because you are dysregulated, you are trying to soothe, you are trying to seek validation, or you are coming from fear, you are able to catch yourself. Your job then is to regulate. Put the goddamn phone down, babe. Have some pride and self-respect. Not even pride, that's ego-based. Have some self-respect to go, okay, this message is me giving away my power here and trying to seek from him. I'm going to put this goddamn phone down and go and do something to regulate my nervous system, to come back into my power. Make a rule for yourself if you need to, that you will not send anything for the first 24 hours of being triggered. And then in that 24 hours, as many times as it takes, you come back into your power by regulating over and over and over. And at the end of that 24 hours, if something needs to be said, you ask yourself, you evaluate, am I in my power here? Do I feel regulated? Am I seeking a response that I need from him? That will give you your answer as to whether you are coming from a regulated nervous system or not. Do I need his answer to be X, Y, Z? For example, Do I need him to acknowledge that I'm right and to choose me again? Or if so, then, there's some more regulation. Put the goddamn phone down for another 24 hours and continue focusing on that. Or is it, I am okay regardless of his response. This is now from a regulated state. I am choosing to express clearly and concisely. No long ass essays. He's not going to read that. Men aren't wired like us either. He's not going to respond to that long emotional message the way that you think. And if it's long and emotional, you're not regulated. But am I sending this clear and concise expression of my feelings because this needs to be said? Or am I needing a response from him in order to feel okay? Am I okay with however he chooses to respond, knowing that I'll be okay however, and I will then, choose what I need to do from there? This is the discernment that you need to practice with yourself before you send that goddamn message, right? And then when you do send that message, you are clear and concise, as I just said. You are stating your feelings. This is healthy communication from the I. I feel, I need, I want, not accusatory, not this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you've done wrong. That's just going to put someone on the defense. It's not overly emotional. It's just, I feel XYZ when you do XYZ, or blah, blah, blah. It's about the I statements, the I feel, the I need. That is healthy communication, okay? And it's simple. It's not over-explaining yourself. It is not 50,000 word essay. It is you simply and clearly, but you cannot do that when your nervous system is not regulated, when you are responding from those triggers, which is exactly what you're doing when you're wanting to send those emotional essays. When you're thinking your whole world has crumbled, or you're doubting yourself, you're rereading over and over those previous messages that he said, seeing if you can find a clue in there as to his tone and what he has said before. You cannot create the relationship of your dreams when you are not in your power. A dream relationship is two people being in their own power as individuals and coming to meet each other where they already meet themselves and taking ownership of their own triggers, of their own nervous system, and not projecting that onto the other person. You cannot create that when you never take responsibility for what's going on. And this is why, you keep attracting emotionally unavailable men, or men who are giving you breadcrumbs or inconsistency, or who aren't meeting you where you want to be met, and who are pulling away because you aren't giving yourself the emotional safety that you require. A regulated nervous system is you giving yourself emotional safety, you meeting yourself emotionally. And if you are never willing to do this, you are going to keep attracting men who are pulling away, who are not giving you that emotional availability, because they are a mirror. Remember, they are a mirror. You are attracting the men with where you are aligned internally. So next time you feel triggered, I have created a little PDF for free, by the way. I'm going to drop that below. This is another simple reminder. Instead of having to watch this episode, a simple reminder with some ideas of what to do next time you feel triggered. I'm going to pop it below in the notes so you can grab it and download it. That next time you feel triggered, you feel like you are spiraling in relationship or dating or with him, stop. As hard as it may be, stop. Come back to you. Regulate your nervous system. then you decide your course of action. But you cannot make that decision when your system is unregulated. That is never going to be the right decision when you're not making it from alignment and that calm state. You have to meet yourself emotionally. And the longer you continue to rely on someone else to meet you emotionally, the longer you are pushing away the men who are willing to meet you at those higher levels, okay? Come back to this episode or come back to this little PDF cheat sheet as many times as you need. Next time you are spiraling, put that goddamn phone down, babe. Do not send that long ass message. Put that phone down and step back into your power first. I love you. I will see you for the next episode.